Government intends to modernize the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation with a view of making it more relevant and competitive. Minister of Information, Broadcasting and Public Affairs, Senator Lucille Moe, shared the vision as she led debate in the Upper House on the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation Bill 2019. She says in this regard, the amendment includes a change in the definition of broadcast within the Act.
We can't continue to put money into obsolete technology when there's other things available that are more efficient and to use modes that will allow us to be able to reach the audience I spoke about just a few minutes ago. So part of this change will accommodate that. It would allow then the broadband type platforms and all those other platforms become part of what we consider to be broadcast in terms of their content distribution, the distribution of their content, to allow CBC then to be able to use those technologies and certainly upgrade the services and still be compliant with what their Act says by making that change there.
Senator Moe notes that another change is to replace the post of general manager with that of a chief executive officer. She says this must be done because of the organizational changes that are necessary.
Requires that you have a structure which allows you to change what some people currently do. So their jobs will change somewhat, but not in a manner where they're not able to do it. Because CBC has extremely good staff. Most of the people at CBC know what they're doing. They're good at what they do, and they're quite capable and competent people. What I think sometimes stops people sometimes from being able to do what is required is because they don't have the tools that they need to work with.
The bill was passed. A government minister says the current administration has adopted a disciplined approach to the management of the country's finances, particularly in its debt. Minister of Innovation, Science and Smart Technology, Senator Kay McConney, made the point as she led debate in Parliament on the debt holder approval of Debt Restructuring Amendment Bill. That bill validates the instruments issued to debt holders and pensioners. Senator McConney says Barbados stands to benefit from the restructuring of its external debt.
It is estimated, sir, that with the current agreement in place with regards to our restructured external debt, Barbados will save approximately $1.2 billion per year over the next 4 years. And that, Mr. President, pardon me? And that would free up some more resources, Mr. President, to help take care of some of the country's needs.
While acknowledging the strides made with respect to the island's debt situation, Opposition Senator Crystal Drakes suggests the way government went about doing it has been painful. She says there is little wiggle room with respect to government's finances. The opposition senator reminded Barbados it has to pay its debt while in the International Monetary Fund program.
If we default on any of the payments that are due between 2020 and 2022, then that reinstatement clause that is in the resolution then kicks in and the deal is off. And that has serious ramifications for this country and our credit worthiness, Mr. President. And so, as I said, the other issue is growing the economy.
Government has stuck to a promise made in the June 2018 budget and has introduced the necessary amendments to the land tax bill, allowing for a write-off of some arrears and penalties. Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Ryan Strawn, as he introduced the Land Tax Amendment Bill 2019, updated Barbadians on the time period covered.
This specific amendment speaks to the land tax amendment for the period 1st April 1981 to the 31st of March 2001. It also speaks, sir, to a waiver of the amount payable as penalty and interest on arrears for the taxes for the period commencing 1st of April 2001 to the 31st of March 2018. And so persons would have had an opportunity, sir, to go in to the Revenue Authority and enter into an arrangement, sir, that will help to settle the land taxes owed.
It's the mecca of our national sport. Barbadians far and wide, especially those coming home for Regathering 2020, often boast about one of the most famous cricket grounds in the world. Tonight, hashtag 246 takes you to the iconic Kensington Oval. Whenever we talk about cricket and Barbados and the rich history, we have to speak about some very big names in the world sport. We have to talk about the national hero, Sir Garfield Sobers. We talk about 3 W's, Greenidge and Haynes, Malcolm Marshall, Joe Garner. It seems like if the names are endless when it comes to Barbados and cricket. So it's only natural that we have to speak about the home to all those big names in Barbados cricket, and that is Kensington Oval. The history of Barbados and Kensington Oval is extremely rich, and it dates back all the way to 1882 when the Pickwick Club acquired ownership of Kensington Oval, and that's when cricket actually started. The first international match actually got underway in 1895 when a touring team of amateur cricketers from England under the captaincy of Mr. Slade Lucas toured the Caribbean to have that first international match. But the first test match was actually some years later in 1930. That's when a touring England team, they came to the Caribbean and played the West Indies, and that match ended in a draw. Now, Kensington has gone through the changes over the years, and the Kensington Oval that we see today went through some major redevelopment, and that was in 2007 for the biggest showpiece in world cricket. That's the Cricket World Cup in 2007. And those redevelopment changes cost the government some 90 million Barbados dollars at that time to the aesthetic of Kensington into a modern state-of-the-art stadium. Now, today Kensington Oval hosts many other things apart from sports. We have football tournaments, you have hockey tournaments, and one of the biggest showpieces that Kensington Oval has hosted, apart from the cultural events like Pickety Crop, was in 2013 when international superstar Barbadian Rihanna, she held her leg of the Loud Tour right here at Kensington Oval. So, Kensington Oval, one of the biggest cultural icons in Barbadian history. Hashtag 246 was brought to you with the kind compliments of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. Here's a tip from Cooperators General Insurance.
This tip of the day is brought to you by Cooperators General Insurance Company Limited. Insurance the way you want it to be.
Did you know criminology as a social science comprises other academic disciplines such as sociology, biology, psychology, anthropology, and law? This tip is brought to you in association with the Criminal Justice Research and Planning Unit, keeping an eye on crime.